To show. Peace.
A very good morning to you. And of course, it's quite cold and calm in our city capital territory right here in Abuja. And I am sure that you are covering yourself because you cannot allow to be under the weather. This period is pretty cold out there. So just make sure that whatever you are, wherever you are, I beg your pardon, whatever you're doing, if you are not mobile, just make sure that either you have an umbrella or you have a cardigan with you because it's quite cold out there and you cannot afford to be on the weather. And if you are imagining where you are right now, this is Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja, your radio experience you can count on. And you know that at this hour is the hour where first we bring you the general open banter. And of course, before I go further to give you the stories that I have lined up for our discussion this morning, I would like to first take you down the trail for you to know the segments and what you should be expecting right here on the Midday Extra Show. This is the only show that starts at 10 a.m. And of course, you know that the first hour right here is the General Open Banter. And the general open banter, right here, we have stories and issues that concerns us as a nation, as a country, and also as individual. And together we discuss and see how we can propose solutions to those issues that threaten us as a country, as a nation, and as individual. And of course, like we always say right here on radio, we keep talking until something happens. Definitely one day something is going to happen. And moving to the next hour today is where we talk about agriculture, is the agripreneur. And on that segment today, we will be talking about investing in agriculture, especially for those of us who feel like, okay, we're young, we're just, going after the white collar jobs and every other jobs, and we don't look to the aspect and the area of agriculture. It is very, very important. And today we want to dwell more on the investment part of it to see if we can invest our time, our enthusiasm, our finances into agriculture. Definitely the country and our families individually will be a better one. And then to the next hour of today, that is where we talk about the national core value. A national core value right here, you know that there we talk about us an individual, and also we talk about being a patriotic citizens. And of course, on that segment, we always have our guests from the Society for Generational Change. They come join us. And today on that segment, we will be looking at transforming the youths. Yes. And then foster integrity and correcting wrong upbringing. And you will agree with me that there are lots of us that are already adults, but we still have some atom of some behavior that is related to the way we were brought up and all of that. And like they always say, charity begins at home. And then moving to the last hour of the Midday Extra Show is the Eagles Oldie. And Eagles Oldie right here, you know that all you need to do is call the studio lines, request for any of your throwback old school song that is your favorite and you want to listen to. And of course, Holy Ray right here is going to be your DJ. And I will make sure that I do justice to that right there. And that is the last hour. And then Holy Ray will be out of the studio. So now you know you are going to be hanging out on the discussion. All right. So a few months ago, we were aware that cholera, I don't know where it crawled out from, but apparently it crawled into our country and it's been doing a whole lot of havoc to us in as much as it's not happening to us, but it's happening to our country. So it's affecting us because those are families, those are people's children. And apparently, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention just on Tuesday here said that it has recorded 3,623 suspected cholera cases. And of course, 103 deaths across the 34 states and the Federal Capital Territory, just as of this July 15th, 2024. That is what this result is all about. And then the Director General of the NCDC, Dr. Jide Idris, who disclosed this, of course, in Abuja right here, said that the current outbreak had spread to 187 local government areas with a cumulative case fatality rate of 2.8% since the beginning of the year. And also, Idris noted that the predominant age affected was 5 years old, while male accounts for 52. So he, however, said that there was a 5.6% decline in the number of cases in this reporting. And of course, you know that we're talking about the report as from 14th to 15th of July, just right here. And then he said, as of the 15th of July, 2024, and the trend analysis, from previous outbreak shows the peak of the outbreak usually, coincides with the peak of the raining season, which is still some weeks ahead. Of course, we still have a whole lot of weeks ahead of the raining season. Also, some of the northern traditional hotspot states have been reporting fewer number of cases, which may be connected with the delayed onset of the raining season in parts of the country. We don't know how that is going to be, but additionally, of course, we can expect that it get better. And then he said, in addition to the ongoing outbreak of cholera in the country is facing, there is a significant increase in the reported incidence of other epidemic-prone diseases such as yellow fever, Lassa fever, and of course meningitis, among others. Idris emphasized that the federal government, through the NCDC, had been actively responding to the cholera outbreak, which has had a significant impact on the health and well-being of our country. Anyways, I don't know what to say about that, but all right, so let me take you to the next that I have lined up here for our discussion this morning. So we are talking about insecurity. Yes, the issue of insecurity. And of course, the government is saying that the federal government, especially our president, is saying that there is need for the military, to mount areas that are isolated, redundant, or those areas, 100 hectares of lands should be occupied. But let's see what they talk about here. So the House of Representative Committee on Defense will meet on Monday, July 23rd. That's next Monday. We'll meet with the Minister of Defense, Abubakar Badaru, and the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, spaces being occupied by criminals. Yes. So the chairman of the committee, Baba Jimmy Benson, who disclosed this in Abuja on Tuesday while briefing a handful of press and all of that, he said, if there is a food security, insecurity will go down. So the army should take possession of their land. Let's say they have about 1 million hectares somewhere. There is not going to be insecurity in that area because it is going to be manned by the military. I don't know if you get that. So he's saying that if the military people, right, are mounting about 100 militaristic for Nigeria's development. Now, what we are saying is if this had been put in place before now, probably things would have been better. I went to Kuje Area Council, and in Kuje Area Council, I see that there were a whole lot of land hectares that are empty, that are vacant. Farm is going on there, and I see that they had so many patrol teams, army, military officers, mount security. So now my question to you this morning is, do you think that the government and the president's decision right now is the right direction? Do you think the military officers mounting those hectares, isolated areas, those lands, do you think that is going to restore a the issue of insecurity, of food insecurity in 0044 or 09087 668888. Don't forget that you can also send us a voice note or text message to the WhatsApp number on 09097054450. Hello.
Hello, hello. Good morning, Holy Ray.
Good morning. Is it Salasi?
How are you doing? Yeah, this is Salasi.
Salasi, good morning.
Always appreciate you for giving us the privilege to call us. I always say it's not our right, but a privilege, and I won't take it for granted. My
Thank
name
you.
is Salasi. Once again, I greet the listeners and callers of this great radio station. Holy Ray, you see, the issue I always hammer about insecurity. And some people will call me and be saying, yes, some people have been political. There's nothing like politics. As I always say, the politics, yes, they have a lot of food there. But in the northern part, most especially we coming from Niger State, Kaduna, Benue, and other places, and Plateau, this place has been run by these bandits. If the government can be able to do that, Holy Ray, yes, the only partnership is good, but Nigerians are no better. We are not lazy people. If they can be able to provide this enable security, enable environment, I am telling you, people come to farm. Then come to the issue of the farm, what they use in their farming like fertilizer. You know that this chemical that we used to buy for weeding, for killing grass. At that time, we used to buy at the rate of 1,000 naira, but now it's 6,000 naira. If they can be able to subsidize the price, we can move forward. Thank you so much, Holy Ray.
Salasi, for that beautiful contribution right there. You know, I feel the pain. I also stamped into a Christian sister who was crying and
people in that area hunter. If they employ them and they get trained with all the needs to secure that area, it will be confident to go to the farm before they rain. Once you do strangers, once you do anybody who is not familiar with that area, they will suspect, and they can easily give information to the police and say there are some movement within this area, there are some people passing this area. That's where we can be able to get rid of this thing. Look at the bandits and the kidnappers. Where they kill their victims, they kill them in the bush and the forest. Some people are running errands for them, some people are supplying them food, supplying them women, fuel, and the rest. That is the people in the community that can do that, because if I'm saying that you can't be able to know where you can meet them and supply to them. So if the bandit can employ the work, the service of the community for their nefarious services, for this people they are doing, why can't the government now employ the community themselves?
like the fact that GB is saying that it's not just about the military officers, but if the government can, try to look to that environment, that community, and make sure that they pick those people that can easily be used as errand boys, to be part of the policing. It will also assist in coping the issue of insecurity. All right, I have a message here on WhatsApp. It says government should be proactive in securing the lives of its citizens, which is her role and primary responsibility. Honestly, there is serious hunger in the land, which can also be attributed to the issue of insecurity. This is from Jira from Duce. Thank you so much for that contribution, Jira. All right, this says, good morning, Holy Ray. I hope Matamata is okay. Yes, Matamata is very okay. He says the reality are finally being admitted to. Those who call into the station to dispute reports of insecurity and term this cries as complaints of naysayers and election. Losers who hate the government and even isolated incidents are evil-minded and the real enemies of this country, as they simply have to defend their paymasters. Insecurity and government policies are what is responsible for the food inflation currently being experienced. Whole local governments and villages are currently under the control of this